Rescue 8, Truck 6, Truck 3, Battalion 3, and the on-call inspector. 2303 West 46th Street, number 208.
Welcome to Sioux Falls Fire. My name's Tyler, and on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire, we go out to the training center to check on the recruits as they battle their first live fire. We'll also travel up to Rosenbauer and check on our new big beast, our heavy rescue truck, and see how easy it is for crews to rip apart cars. That and so much more on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire.
So we're out at the training center today working with our new cadets, our 9 cadets that are going through the Cadet Academy, and I'm here with Training Officer Ben Tracy, and we're just stepping into the first live fire drills with them. Give me a little talk around what all we got going on.
Well, for the last 7 weeks, the cadets have been learning a lot of new skills, and today is the first time they've really got to put all those skills to use. They're going in, they're searching the building, they're finding the fire, they're attacking the fire. Another group is acting as a RIC team, and then the third group is acting as ventilation for it.
Okay, so they're coming in and just basically running through the process of showing up on scene of a fire and going through it, right?
This is probably their first time that they've gotten to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and really get after it and use these skills to what we expect with Sioux Falls Fire.
Yeah, so our live fire prop that we're utilizing now for this Cadet Academy is a little different than what we've utilized in the past. Our fire training tower is, due to age and some safety concerns, we no longer do live fire in it. So this prop that we're using, tell us a little bit about it.
We did some research, and we're trying to stick strictly to the standard NFPA 1403. We constructed it around that. We're using a metal Connex building. It's normal practice around the nation to use these containers for live fire. So we constructed our own. We have one single story right now, and it's making do to give these cadets some good real fire.
Yeah, it's a real temporary setup for us to be able to get live fire for these cadets, correct?
Absolutely, it definitely is temporary, but it's meeting its purpose that we could put together in a short time frame.
Okay. Well, with the cadets, how are they doing so far with it?
So far, the cadets are doing really well. This is the first time they've gotten to see this structure. It was honestly just constructed yesterday.
Yep.
But we did stick to all the standards and made sure it's safe and there's no safety concerns other than we're dealing with live fire.
Yep, sounds good. Well, thank you very much, and I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Cadet Connor Van Dyke, and we're 7 weeks into the Cadet Academy, and you've been doing a lot of classroom work, and now we're hitting your first live fire. Tell me a little bit about what you thought, what you saw. You were on the tip going in. How was it?
It was quite the experience. Smoky in there, about what they told us it'd be. Smoky, limited visibility. Quite an experience.
Yeah.
Something not really used to. So.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of volunteer experience, I believe, correct?
Small amount volunteer experience.
But getting in on the live fire like this, going in, smoke was banking down. There's a little bit of heat. I mean, it wasn't quite as hot as what you were expecting, or how was that for you?
Once we got near the fire, it got warm.
Yep.
Could definitely feel it on the ears, but yeah.
Yep. And primary search, you went in, did a
right-hand
search.
Primary search around the whole structure into the setup bedrooms, and then we found the seat of the fire and controlled the fire at that point.
So, good experience.
Great experience.
All right.
It's great to finally get hands-on.
Yeah, so far, how's the academy going for you?
Great. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep. Working hard?
Absolutely.
Good deal.
Yep. Everyone's pushing hard every day.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up and enjoying it a little.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks a lot, Connor.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm with Cadet Kyle Blakesley. We're out at some houses that we got here to do a lot of our training in. We've got a lot of crews out here right now going through several different houses, and Cadet Blakesley, you got to do some vertical ventilation. How'd it go?
Well, it was a good experience for me. That was the first time I've ever been able to start the cutter's edge.
Okay.
So I was pretty proud of myself. And I started when we went up there. Cadet Van Dyke told me where the soft spots were in the roof and kind of pointed me in the direction of where to ventilate. I did my kerf cut, and we checked below to see where the fire was, if there were a fire.
Yep.
And then I started making my cuts.
Good. And all went well?
Saw
worked, all that kind of stuff?
Saw worked.
Good learning experience for you?
It was a great learning experience for me. I've learned a lot today.
Really the first time getting on the saw like that, correct?
Yeah. We did one evolution back at the training center that was much more, it just seemed a little more safe there. This is more real life.
More real life, yep.
And it's good to do things in more real life situations.
So being able to use a house like this, a good old structure, how does that differ than what you get to use at the training center?
Well, at the training center, we kind of see the same thing every day. The training officers are very creative in how they set up situations, but when we come to a house like this, we don't know what to expect.
Right.
We don't necessarily know what kind of locks they're going to use or how the house is.
How it's constructed really inside. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a different challenge for us than it is with the governor's house at the training center.
Oh, yeah. So what else you guys been doing out here at this site?
At this height, we filled the house with smoke, and my squad and I went down and we charged a line and went down into the basement. We learned a good lesson. The hose got really crinkled and wound up in the
Kinked up
front.
a little bit, yep.
So I was pulling hose and learned good ways to pull the hose. And we got a victim out. We had a race to see who could break through the wall first.
Okay.
Cadet Van Dyke won. I got second. Cadet McManus got third.
Okay.
We've been breaking through doors using forcible entry tools, and
so it's been overall a good learning experience out here today.
yeah, and it's fun to be able to break things apart and get paid for it.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We're standing beside what looks like used to be a Buick Regal here, and I got Phil with me today to explain what's going on. Phil, what happened to this car back here?
Well, we received new extrication equipment on all of our rescue trucks, so we were out this week practicing and kind of getting used to the tools and learning how they all work.
Okay, so now when we're saying new, I kind of noticed a lot of them are battery operated, and years ago they were more the hydraulic ones. So what are some of the benefits with the new ones, the battery operated ones?
So previously, like you said, our hydraulic ones were connected to hoses, so we're really limited on the mobility and how far we could go. And even just operating and people stepping over each other, you could twist it up. So with the new battery-powered ones, we're able to go longer distances with them if we have to go where cars are in a ditch, and also just the maneuverability and how we operate with them, it can be more seamless than what we've previously been able to do. And then also with the newer extrication equipment, just the capabilities of them are so much greater. A lot of the cars nowadays are these high-strength steel that older extrication equipment really struggled to cut, and with this new stuff, we've really helps us get through a lot of those issues.
So that's kind of interesting. So the battery operated ones are actually more powerful than the old hydraulic ones?
That's
they got to
correct.
meet certain standards?
Yep, and they're all NFPA approved, and so they have to go through a certain testing process and meet certain specs, so then we know that they're capable of doing what we want them to do.
Okay. So now, does all trucks carry these equipment, or certain trucks?
Only certain trucks. We have 3 frontline trucks that are always in service that carry these extrication equipment, our rescue companies, and then we have 1 reserve that will have them as well.
Okay. And now are all personnel trained on this equipment?
Out of the Recruit Academy, so the new people, they are given an operations level training, so they kind of have the basic understanding of what the tools are capable of doing and some of the basic tactics. And then us on these rescue companies, we kind of really like to expand more into it and I guess really try to make it a specialty for us to be proficient at.
Okay. And that's what we're doing here today, is we're just going over the equipment, doing different scenarios here. I see we got a car on its side, one rolled over. So what are some of the things we're working on today out here?
All the way down from just extrication 101, the very basics. It's always good to revert back to your basics. If you can do it, all the basic skills and expand off that, it just helps you in the long run. So just as open up doors, and like here we open up the full side of a vehicle, and then with lifting the dash or rolling the dash if we have people with foot entrapments. And this vehicle actually had a pretty significant side impact when we got to it. So just some of how to deal with some of these more severely mangled vehicles.
Now I noticed, Phil, we got 7 cars here today. It looked like they all received some damage, but you're obviously doing more damage to them. Where do you get these cars to practice on?
We're fortunate a lot of the companies throughout Sioux Falls will help us in training needs that we need. Currently we're at Eastgate Towing, and they are extremely great to deal with. They're always, if we need training or we want to do more training, they always have cars that they're willing to give us. We asked for 3 and we have 7 here, so they're very accommodating.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
So we're back in Lyon, South Dakota at Rosenbauer again, and we're checking up on the build on our new heavy rescue. And I'm here with Scott Hubble with Rosenbauer, and nice to see you again.
Yep, nice to see you too, Steve.
We'll At this point in time, we're here looking at the midpoint inspection. So
Yep.
where are we at with the heavy rescue?
So
build?
the last time that you guys were here, basically you were looking at your bare chassis. We were in the process of building the body. That's been done. It's been put together and assembled onto the chassis. From that point, it went to the plumbing department. All the major components were attached to the pump itself. The manifolds, the valves, things of that nature. And once that was completed, it went to the paint department. It was primed, painted, and buffed. And now that that's complete and cured, it's gone to the midpoint area of body electrical.
All right, so now they're kind of just diving into everything with, like you said, the electrical and,
Yes.
and getting the fine-tune things.
Yeah, so they're going to
taken
do all
care
the
of.
110 voltage on it for
Okay.
the generator. They do all the 12-volt power, powers all your lights in the compartments and things of that nature. The generator will be installed. All the ROM doors or AM doors, whatever you guys chose, will
Okay.
be installed onto the body as well. It'll be in there 2 to 3 weeks,
Okay.
and it'll move on to finish shop. And from that point, you're looking at another 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
to a
And
final.
so in the finish shop, what are they looking at doing then?
So that's where all your shelves, trays, tool boards, compartment lids, things of that nature all get done, and it takes about 2 weeks.
Okay, so everything's progressing well at
It
this
is.
point in
It's
time.
actually going really well for as big a truck as it is.
It is a big one. That is definitely true.
Yes, sir.
Well, so I guess one question is with this heavy rescue, how's it compare to some of the other ones that you've built?
Yep. So this is definitely bigger than most of the other ones that we've built here at Rosenbauer. We kind of like to rate them from a 1 to a 4,
Okay.
and this is definitely a 4+. So
Okay.
it's got the complexity. It's going to be one of the bigger trucks that Rosenbauer's done.
Oh, okay. So it's got a lot of storage space and everything
Storage
else in it.
space and electronics and complicated items to be put on the truck. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
We're here with Battalion Chief Brunette today to talk a little bit about Sioux Falls Fire Hazmat. So, Chief, how many hazmat crews do we have here in town?
We have 2 hazmat crews in town here, a complement of detection equipment available with a truck and a trailer.
And how many personnel are specialists?
We
trained?
have 28 to 30 specialists
28 to
on
30,
Sioux Falls
okay.
Fire Rescue.
And now, do we just stay strictly in Sioux Falls, or are we a regional coverage
We are a regional coverage, Task Force 1 team, and we go everywhere in the state.
in the state? Okay. And roughly, how many calls a year do you think we have with the hazmat, where we have a hazmat response?
The smaller hazmat responses, we have about 750 a year. All those are everything from antifreeze and then common diesel spills, fuel spills. Larger hazmat spills, we average about 2 a year.
2 a year. Okay. And now, Steve, today I noticed we have a class going on here. Kind of explain what we got going today.
This week has been tactical chemistry. We have the Task Force 1 team here. Rapid City, Watertown, Aberdeen, and Sioux Falls Fire. We're all learning about how to take chemistry and apply it in the tactical fashion, basically the street level of chemistry, and how to apply it to the incidents we have in the state.
Okay. And I noticed looking around here, we got some different devices around, tools that you use. Can you kind of explain some of the tools that we're using today?
Absolutely, yep, we use papers, so we do what we call wet chemistry. We take samples of pH, fluorine, oxidizing materials, water, and then we can determine how to classify that information. And then when we have unknown chemicals, we use FTIR or IR, and we use Raman spectroscopy, and we put those chemicals in the meter, and that meter may or may not determine actually what the exact chemical is. And that breaks down into the chemistry level on the bonds. The bonds will allow us to either see it or not see it, which is why this class is important for us today.
Okay. And you, like you said, you have several different towns here today training.
We have Aberdeen here, Rapid City, Watertown, and Sioux Falls Fire.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time, Steve.
You
Really
bet.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm with Division Chief Jeff Helm here, and one of the things that Sioux Falls Fire Rescue just went through is our reaccreditation. Division Chief Helm, what exactly is accreditation?
Well, it's basically a review of your department, your operations, basically an overall view of everything that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's evaluating how you're doing it, what you're saying you're doing, and at what level you're doing it. So it gives you that comfort level that your organization is meeting a standard that's recognized internationally, and that's basically what it's involved with. So like other accreditations, this is just like those as well.
Okay, and so with the accreditation, what does that mean for the community?
Well, it means that you're getting the best value for your money. The resources that we're appreciative of and that we use every day to create the programs and deliver the services are being used in a meaningful way, in a valuable way that is cognizant of the money that we're providing.
So it's making sure that what we're spending on things, we're spending it correctly, and the services we're giving to the community, it's at the highest quality possible.
Correct, correct. Because if you think about any organization, even private business, you always look on return on investment. Well, this is in essence a return on investment look in a public sector. So you look at all your programs, where the money's going for your community, and what they're getting in outcomes for those services.
And what does the process how did that go for us? What did we have to go through to get the reaccreditation?
Well, it's an every 5-year process, but every year there's an annual compliance report. We just went through an on-site visit last year to review everything in total detail. And so that is an ongoing process that continues every year, and we submit our compliance reports every year to say, how are we doing based off of what recommendations we received from the last site visit. So it's a continuous improvement model. So that's actually their model, is it's continuous improvement. And that's what they're looking for organizations such as ours, that we're continually looking at ourselves and saying, what can we do better? And we continue to meet those marks every year.
So as far as around the United States, Sioux Falls Fire Rescue is one of a select few, I guess you could say, of agencies that are accredited and ISO 1, correct?
Correct. We're one of 200 roughly that are an ISO 1, which is hard to achieve as well for your community, and accredited. So I would say we're an elite group that shows that we are trying to improve every year and try to meet the best standards for our community related to accreditation.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jeff, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. If you'd like to learn more about Sioux Falls Fire Rescue and what we do here, go to siouxfalls.org/fire, and we hope to see you next time.